The punch you will receive is the plan that looks so good on paper ended up resting on shaky assumptions. Remember how the Wright brothers solved the problem of allowing a human being to fly. Before they built an airplane, they flew a kite. If a kite crashes, nobody gets hurt. Before they built a kite, they built a wind tunnel, a cardboard box, bicycle spoke wire, and a fan that allowed them to dramatically simplify running experiments and learning. You need to do the same thing. Let's talk about innovation in action at a relatively small business. The picture here is from 1917. This is a class from an institution in Philadelphia in the United States called the Settlement Music School. Settlement was founded in 1908. In its history, it has educated tens of thousands of young students in classical and jazz music. Illustrious alums include Kevin Bacon and Albert Einstein. If you wondered how they connected, there you go, 6-degree connection right there. In 2010, the woman pictured in black, Helen Eden, became the 6th executive director of the Settlement Music School. At the time, the school had 6 branches like the one you see pictured on the left side of the screen here. A reasonably small business, about $7 million a year in fees from classes, about a $20 million endowment, a not-for-profit company. Eden gave her team a challenge. How do we take these physical facilities and transform them? Make them a third place, like a Starbucks or a house of worship, where not just children, but adults gather? How do we go and expand to target a new segment? We came in, my organization, and ran just a couple days of training for Eden and her team. They then went out and did all the things that great innovators do. They immersed themselves in the market. They talked to adults in the area. They kept hearing recurring themes. Adults were lonely. They found it hard to make friends, and they wanted new ways to meet people. Music was a connection to youth. As they studied other businesses like Picasso, they began putting pieces together. Like Edison, they started thinking not just about a class, but everything required to make it happen, how they would attract and market and do everything to deliver value. They came up with an idea, they then tested it. The idea ultimately became called Adult Rock Band. The idea here is you get a group of people together, each in an individual instrument, under the tutelage of an expert instructor. It's a way for people to meet new people. It's a way for them to jam and recapture a piece of their youth. This is done by a group of people that looks no different than the people in the room here. One of the great mistakes that we make sometimes in conferences like this is we think, I'm not Tony Fernandez. I'm not on the board of directors of Uber. I didn't run Obama's campaign. Therefore, none of this stuff matters to me. But anyone here can, and everyone here should, think about how they can do something different that creates value. The most important word in this definition, by far, is the first one. You can't do something different that creates value unless you go and do something. The best gift I ever received from a project team is this. This is a bobblehead doll affectionately known as Skoda. This is my head grafted onto the body of the Star Wars character Yoda. The team had told me they were going to try and do something. I said, no, this is not a try or try not. This is a do or do not. You need to do the same thing. By way of metaphor, a couple years ago, my now 10-year-old boy, Charlie, announced he wanted to learn to ride a bike. What did we do next? We did not watch any YouTube videos. No PowerPoint presentations were involved. We did not discuss the theory of bike riding. Charlie got on a bike and began to pedal and fell down. He got up. He began to pedal. He fell down again. He got up. Today, Charlie is a competent bike rider. He can get from point A to point B without too much difficulty. If he practices enough, he could be a proficient bike rider. Performance-enhancing drugs and Tour de France might be in his future. Don't do drugs. They're very bad. You need to do the same thing. Get on your innovation bikes. Within everyone is a world-class innovator. This is a discipline. This is a set of skills that any of you, with the right conscious practice, can master and can manage. This is my 64th trip to the Philippines since I moved to Singapore in 2010. I've worked with some of the great companies in this country. I've seen some of the startups in this country as well. I know the potential in this market is astonishingly high. I know you all are capable of doing so much. So please, go do something different that creates value. Thank you very much, and good luck.